that I didn't need my mom to pray for me. Like, I didn't need my mom to be the bigger spiritual person. He gave me just the same kind of authority. I just had to seek it. Time with God has become sort of a sacred, deeply reflective, and might I even add sometimes life-altering habit for me. But it wasn't always that way. Have you ever seen those people who can actually pray for hours on end and actually want to read their Bibles and wondered, how do they do it? Because 10 minutes into my prayer session, I'm like, amen. Good talk, God. That was great. Amen. Bye. Hi, everyone. My name is Jess, and this is Jess's Take. Like, I never really was able to know what to say or how to properly articulate myself to God. Maybe you're one of those people who go to church and you listen to the sermons, or you listen to sermons at home or anything like that, and are satisfied. And like, when you get home, if you have any questions or biblical related problems, you just ask the dictionary of mom and dad, like, haven't we all? Or a simple Google search would satisfy, right? No, really, are you one of those people? Because if you are, you can comment down below, because I want to know that I was not alone back then, because that used to be me. I felt really bad when the pastor would be like, raise your hands, who's read their Bibles, like, how many times have you read it this week or whatever, and I'm like, sorry, like, I don't actually want to read my Bible. I love the stories, I love all of it, but like, I don't intentionally go to my Bible to read it for hours and hours. No, unless I need it. You will not be finding me reading my Bible. That was me. I mean, if that's you, comment down below, because I want to know like your devotional struggles and everything, because I was there. And honestly, up until a few years ago, this was me. I would literally just wake up, and if it was time for school, I'd run to school, but if not, I would just wake up on the weekends and mumble a few words to God. And those were on good days, because on other days I would really just forget until the night came or other things. And like, my relationship with God was never really intentional. It was never like I'm seeking God. I knew I was saved and I wanted to be, like, my heart was for Christ, you know, but I never actually intentionally like set apart like time for God. I was always busy, always doing other things. But the thing is, I'd watch my mother and my sister pray for hours on end, go into their prayer closets and literally never get out until they needed to get out. And they would have such a concentration, like such a fire for God, and I didn't understand. I always thought, how can I get that close to God? And I think, well, I'm not that old. I'm not as old as them, so maybe with maturity comes closeness to God, or like the want to be with God. And I figured out that really that's not how it worked at all whatsoever. And maybe a little bit of it is true, but not for the most part. And I think around 2016, when I graduated, like, that was one of the most craziest years of my life, because I think I sprained my back that time, could not go to school for a month, and a lot of stuff, like bad stuff, happened that month. I mean, that whole year really. But through God's grace, I was able to graduate. And then came actually going to college, and my college fund was, how do you say, non-existent. so I had no money to go to college, but I really wanted to go. But then I ended up not wanting to go anymore. And then this happened.
I'm sending you on a journey to self-discovery.
I'm not kidding when I say I was so excited, because I had not wanted to go anymore, because I knew what I wanted to do, which was photography, creativity, anything else but things that school was needed for, you know. So I was like, well, what's the point of going to college if you already know what you want to do and you can just make a really nice living off of it? And I, being me, didn't want like a complicated life with like a bunch of cars and a huge house or anything like that. All I wanted was a simple life, and sometimes I even wanted, well, most of the time I'm literally obsessed with van life. So yeah, I wanted to live the van life, and I was like, you do not need that much money to travel, like you can do whatever. I'm rambling. That was the first time I'd ever actually audibly heard from the Lord. I used to think that people who could hear from God were super special, or like had to be like so big and old and like amazing for God to speak to them, because I was like, God has no time for someone like me. But actually that was not true. And if you put yourself in a position to just listen to him and seek him, sometimes even when you only seek him for problems or whatever, like I was doing, apparently he can still speak to you. God can do whatever he wants. So this problem pushed me to pray a little bit more, and by a little bit more I mean like once those problems came, I was praying because I had problems, not really because I was still seeking God. Though sometimes I did, because I felt like everyone around me was except for me. So I would sometimes intentionally, you know, do devotions and stuff like that, but it was never consistent, and I never had like an actual yearning for God like I wanted. And so after that, that sent me into a whole roller coaster of things, and it brought me like some moments and memories that I will literally never ever forget.
Good, bro. Okay, you ready? This is.
Oh my gosh, here we go.
Okay.
I see.
People looking from outside in understand how much stuff I was going through.
Something hard all forgot. Luck.
Barclay honestly was my desert, and I have to say that I loved it. I loved my desert time that I had at Barclay. So at that time, God just purged me and he changed me. I just remember being completely changed inside and out. And it wasn't because it was the Christian school or anything like that. It was just that it was my journey. I allowed him to, and once I surrendered to him to actually change me, he did. I was not really living in complete dependence of God. I was dependent on my mom, of course. I was dependent on people who were around me, but like mostly my mom and my, like, yeah, because she's the only spiritual person. Like, not the only spiritual person, but like she was the most spiritual person I knew or was close to and could tell things, because she was my hugest, most biggest example on like being a woman of God and like intentionally seeking God and seeing amazing things happen. I did not have my mom next to me for every single little thing, and I didn't have her to pray for me, and the Lord was starting to show me that I didn't need my mom to pray for me. Like, I didn't need my mom to be the bigger spiritual person, I guess, because he gave me just the same kind of authority. I just had to seek it. Until that journey, my heart was for God, and like I said before, but I wanted to be on fire for him without going through all the hard times, and I wanted to get to that level, to the level my mom was at or my sister was at, without doing the hard work that everyone else had to go through, like all the hard times. I guess I didn't realize that before, but now I do. Now to this. So because he's been teaching me discipline lately, I usually wake up at 7:30 to 8 a.m. out of responsibility no matter what time I sleep. I will do my self-care routine, which includes my workout, make my bed, take my vitamins, tidy up the room, shower, etc. Not really all in that order. I'll lift the blinds and open my window if it was too hot, run my heater if it's too cold, and start my computer. I usually wear something comfortable just because I know we're gonna be here for a while. I'll get on YouTube for my word of the day, I have 3 to 4 women God's been using to speak to me, and he'll have whatever word I need for that day already on my home feed when I open YouTube usually. It's really rare that I won't find my word on the page, but if it does happen, I'll go to the YouTuber's page and pray that the Lord will guide me to whatever video I need to see that day. And if he does, I listen and journal in response. I'll ask for confirmation and we'll literally have an actual conversation this way. I stay quiet and I write and he answers me. On a side note, if you don't know whether it's God, the enemy, or yourself, the Lord taught me that the enemy has an ammo. Whatever he introduces will be destructive or something that will lead you away from God. When it's God, it's gentle and the purpose is for his glory. So negative thoughts like, you'll never make it, you're not good enough, that's why you're going to hell. Did God really say it, or is it just me? 99% of the time, it's the enemy. Sometimes it's a lot of tears, and other times it's a lot of singing. It's up to the Lord and whatever he puts in my spirit for that day. And through this process, the Lord and I go through some deep stuff, whether it be emotional baggage, trauma, or something that made me feel a certain way, unforgiveness, whatever it is, you name it, we cover it. And even if it's something as small as thanking him for the sunrise, we cover it in that moment. If you like this content so far and you want to support Jess's take and help this little corner of YouTube be better than it is, please comment below your struggles and how God has changed you. I would love to hear people's stories. I always like to hear testimonies. So don't forget to comment and like and subscribe if you want to see more, and email me if you have any questions. As the Father guides me, I'll just dive right into the Bible reading. I pray over all the things he's revealed to me for that session, whether it be hurt, unforgiveness, prejudice, anger, sorrow, or just your normal discouragement. It could take 10 minutes or an hour, but we get through it. The best tip I have for anyone would be to not think of prayer as a chore or something that you put on a to-do list or on a what's that thing, New Year's resolution. Think of it as a conversation with a loving father. Like literally, even if you do not have a father, unfortunately, like I know some people don't, like not some people, a lot of people don't, and if you don't have a father or anything like that, think of the best dad that you could ever think of. He is literally the embodiment of love, and he has so much time in his hands. He literally has all the time in the world because he made time, so like has all the time in the world to listen to you. So just speak to him, and you don't have to speak to him like Jesus Christ, amen, blah blah for hours. You don't have to really follow some sort of blueprint. Just intentionally want to spend time with him, find time to spend with him, and he will teach you how to. God has taught me everything I know. Most of the things that I've learned are from him directly because he literally leads you. The best thing you could do for yourself and God is to come to him and spend time in his presence. He doesn't need you perfect, he just wants your time. That's it. He wants your heart. Even if you don't want to pray or you don't feel like it, say it to God and just say, honestly, I don't want to, but I know I should. So give me the desire to want to. He will give you anything that is to glorify him, and you ask for it, like wisdom and stuff like that. Those come to you for free. So just pray, ask for it, and he will give it to you. I am getting better, but I used to be I am still kind of a perfectionist, and one of the things that the enemy used to use to keep me away from God is, so he used to say, oh, so you're doing this wrong, you're not a good person, and like you're a bad person, you lie or whatever. And then he'll be like, okay, make sure you fix yourself first, and then you can come to God, and then he'll love you. And that is like one of the biggest lies, because that's God's job. Like, he's the one who fixes you. You don't get to fix yourself because you don't know how to. If you could, everybody in this world would be perfect. That's not the case, because people don't fix themselves. They don't change themselves. The Lord does. So Come to him as you are, but don't expect to stay where you are. Just come to him as you are and ask for the desires to want to do the certain things that you know you should. It's just, you have the knowledge, you come to him, you ask for the desire, he gives it to you, and you go on. You could literally start with, God, I know I'm not great and I don't know how to do this, but I know that I need to be better with you, and I know I need time with you, so teach me to be with you, and teach me to want to be with you, teach me to what it feels like to be in your presence, like show me your glory. That's it. You don't even have to close your eyes. Literally just say, Jesus, I know we should talk, but I have no idea how to do this, like no one taught me, but I know you can teach me, so go ahead and do it. Like, and finally, during this step, God usually puts a song in my heart, and it's a ton of singing. Like, my older mate Sierra will tell you that I used to scream till my lungs went to explode, but and I will just sing and worship till I feel like it's the end and I need to go on with my day. So bye God, till next time. And like during the time that I work, I still talk to him, but it's not the same as my devotional time, if you know what I mean. I'll have a lot of things to do, but everything can be moved down. Like, I don't really care about the things that I have to do. When it comes to God, I just start my time with God, and when it's supposed to be done, it's done. Like, it's not, oh, I'm gonna give you 30 minutes right now, Jesus, bye. Like, after 30 minutes, what parent would time their child? Like, I saw this in a whatever, King of Hill or whatever, I saw a commercial with it. He was like, you got a minute, mom, and then she just said a minute for him, and then let him talk for a minute or something. Like, no one does that. So yeah, I usually just pray and I feel at peace, and then I go about my day. And I do understand that not a lot of people have time. You don't have to do it in huge chunks. Usually people like will do little section at a time, and then it ends up being a huge time with God. But for me personally, I know I need to set time apart with him, because otherwise I'm like everywhere and I get super distracted. I know people sometimes will like be super embarrassed that they'll look crazy if they talk to Jesus around people. So you can literally have your eyes opened, but just tune the world out and pray in your heart. In your heart? I just can't with myself today. Pray in your heart, and God will listen to you, and he will lead you, and your days will be so much more peaceful and so much better, and you will be so much happier. And don't blame yourself if you tend to skip a day or forgot. Yeah, like I used to blame myself a lot when I first started. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not praying for today, like I'm not setting time apart with God for today, I'm a horrible person. Like, that's not what it's about. It's just when you're dating someone, you don't actually go out with them every single day, even though it would be great to go out every single day and like go on a date, but it's not every day. And so you just try to spend a lot of time with God, and that's it. I'm like rambling, and I'm gonna cut this part out because this is ugly. Okay, so whether it be in the bus, in a subway, on the toilet, it doesn't matter. Like, it could be anywhere. You can like my mom taught me this. She said you could be on the toilet, like the time you spend in the bathroom is a long time, so just you could be on the toilet, taking a shower, anything, just pray. Yeah, I know it's gross and it's probably TMI, but yeah, the bathroom also works wonders to pray. If you really don't have time, you have time to wash your face and brush your teeth, or be on the bus or in a car or walk wherever you're going. You can speak to God during that time instead of going on social media, because I used to be on my phone. Like, I don't love social media, I'm not one of those people, but I really like to look at photos of babies, photography, anything that is super cute, or like the dodo. Oh my gosh, don't get me started. I think I missed so many classes in college watching the dodo. Like, I'm not even kidding. I'd be in my room watching a cute little kitten getting rescued, and then I would escape a class by accident. I'd be 15 minutes late, and I'm like, well, if I'm 15 minutes late, the class is already over. That's how I used to think. And I was like, I'm not gonna walk in and have people stare at me or whatever. So I used to miss classes because I used to watch the dodo. So don't do that. The Bible says search and you will find. So thank you so much for sticking around till the end. Email will be down below in the description if you would like to email me about anything, any concerns, questions, or even tips. And until then, seek God with all your heart. Goodbye. So start intentionally speaking to God, because it will literally change everything. And I was on fire for him. What am I supposed what he says, and everything well, so just listen and follow to what he says. Oh my gosh, no, Here we go again. I hate this stuff. Okay. Thank you so much. Stop saying That's fine. Thank you so much for sticking around till the end. Right. Thank you so much for what's the hands for? Thank you for so much. Support us. It would, if you stuck around till the to the end. Oh my gosh, can you stop saying and until okay, and until then